Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to the video. This is a paid request for Shawn. Thank you so much for that. If anyone is requesting any type of video, whether it be a topic, a rating, a tier list, a reaction, a commentary, a movie review, a re-review, random thoughts on something, playthrough of a game for an hour, full playthrough, whatever the case may be, PayPal is usually the best bet to send it. There's a Cash App and a Patreon as well. Those links are down below in the info box. I mentioned that because people have asked about those. And I will get to it as soon as I can. Thank you for those who have sent it. I really do appreciate it. And today, Shawn wanted me to do a commentary for the 1996 film From Dusk Till Dawn. So I'm pausing at the beginning. 3, 2, 1. Actually, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Dimension, part of Miramax. That usually Dimension was the ones releasing horror films or films of that like. I mean, Dimension Films was releasing what Mimic with Guillermo del Toro. There was Hellraiser sequels, Children of the Corn sequels, Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, and more. Of course, infamous for Harvey Weinstein being a part of it, and of course all the behind the stuff with Weinstein's, but just for the fact of apparently many times they meddled with films. I guess not with this one, probably because they did not want to piss off Quentin Tarantino, who's writing the film, because Pulp Fiction had come out not too long ago and got a lot of accolades, deservedly so, because Pulp Fiction is a great movie. And here we have Michael Parks, established character actor. Always enjoyed Michael Parks. Been in a lot of stuff. He worked later with Kevin Smith on films like Tusk and Red State. He was in Death Wish 5. He was in Nightmare Beach, a film I reviewed a month or so ago. Kill Bill. I know he's in Kill Bill 2. I think he's in Kill Bill 1 as well. Yeah, I think Kill Bill. He played different characters. He was in both of the Kill Bill films. But Michael Parks is great. And the guy who is the owner of the shop, I think his name is John Hawkes. I've seen him in films from time to time. He was in the film I did not mind. He was the star of, and I'm bad with names, Small Town Crime, I think it was called. Robert Forster had a part in that. I do remember not minding that film. I did. He was the lead. He played an alcoholic ex-cop. A little bit of a redemption arc. And I knew from the beginning, I first saw this on VHS tape, I knew I was in for something, because the dialogue here where, there was that Fly Today where he's talking about how he's having a, just his way of using all the cuss words and just flowed out, and talking about how he got sick from, uses the term mongoloid, which I know that's deemed offensive today. My favorite line in this scene is when he's like, "Show's got to cross the bear dealing with that potato head." Call the guy potato head. Always crap me up. And of course you find out that the store's being robbed, and you get a bit of Quentin Tarantino's character who's paranoid and seeing things that aren't there. And George Clooney's a little bit more of the, little more mellow-headed, but they're still crooks, they're still bad guys. But Michael Parks, like, he's funny, but at the same time, when he gets serious about what happened and other cops were killed, you see a little bit of the emotion. Kind of sad that Michael Parks is not in it that much and he gets killed so early. I do wish he was in the film more. And here you see a bit of the seriousness and the glint in his eyes. And great actor, Michael Parks. Can't sing the praises enough. And John Hawkes, I mean, he does a good job as well. But soon Clooney and Tarantino will be in the scene. But if I understand the way this started, the late 80s, Robert Kurtzman, he had an idea. Kurtzman is the K and K&B effects, which the others are Directorial and Berger. But Robert Kurtzman, he wanted to direct a film sometime. So he came up with this idea with the vampires, strip club, all that jazz. For what I understand, the first half of this film is more Tarantino's, and then the second half of the film, that was what Kurtzman's original script was. Actually, before I go on, just the great first impression of George Clooney. My favorite role of his, still my favorite George Clooney film, still my favorite George Clooney character is Seth Gecko. I love this character, even though he's a bad guy, but he's interesting, he's charismatic, he's a badass. He's got a teeniest bit of heart and a bit of pathos with some of the reactions. Like, he loves his brother over anything else, but there are certain things that even he thinks that is a bit much. Like, you can tell he doesn't quite trust Tarantino. Just stay in the car. You believe me, right? Just stay in the car. Or when he finds the hotel, the bank lady having been assaulted, and he's like, "Is this my fault? Is this my fault? What you are doing?" I mean, he's still allowing it to happen in terms of, not shooting, killing Tarantino's character, but at the same time it's his brother. But at the same time, he's not happy about it. But it's like he's not a good guy, but he's a bad guy with an interesting small part of morality hidden deep down in there. It made some, again, a more interesting character, and just George Clooney plays it so well. And this is when you knew he could be a movie star. Everybody be cool. You be cool. You be cool. And I've liked some of George Clooney's work. Michael Clayton being one of them. I did enjoy that. Gravity. He never played a character as badass as this one, though. As where sadly Michael Park's gonna leave the film. I love the line where he hears the price, like, "You bucker for an early retirement." And you see, like, George Clooney doesn't approve of this. And, like, Clooney, he could maybe tell, he just shut up, even stops him, like, "What are you doing?" And that's what makes it more interesting dynamic. Like, Clooney's not like, "Yay," and, natural born killers, Woody Harrelson. Which I know Tarantino hated that film, because Tarantino wrote a script for it, and then he saw how Oliver Stone made it, and then he hated the film. So, which I thought was interesting. But this is a good shot coming up where he shoots Tarantino's hand. In the way this is edited, with the opening of the safe, all the little close-ups. The camera going back and forth with this dual showdown. Each getting their equal moments to shine. You have 2 fucking seconds to live. And a good stunt person, like, heavily on fire, man. No CGI in this scene. None. And the thing with John Hodge, like, if he had just stayed there and waited for them to leave, he would have been alive. But, I mean, you can't blame him, because it's like, these guys just killed my friend, the sheriff, or the cop. I don't know if he was a sheriff, but the cop. You killed my friend, you shot me. Can't really fault John Hodge a lot. But George Clooney loves his brother so much, he'll do anything for him. For right or wrong. And, like, this right here, come out, this film's going to be a bit of extra. Like, imagine, look how on fire that guy is. You can't even see his face anymore. It's not like it's all over. It just, that's be the scariest thing. Even though you got the protection of the gel, it can only protect you so much. Like, Jesus. Low profile. Do you know the meaning of the word low profile? It is not taking hostages. Such a great shot too. Like they gotta do this in that take while this thing is blowing up, and they can't screw up the take. Now George Clooney said in an interview that's on the Overseas Germany Blu-ray that they did this once and it worked, but then the camera screwed up, so they had to build this stuff again. That's probably why you don't see a lot of the front part of that store blow up. Just had to redo all the stuff, but then we have the song Dark Knight. I didn't. Oh yeah, I just noticed they do a freeze frame here. Just the car's not moving. I thought they just let the car keep going and it just stayed on the shot. No, they did a freeze frame because then the car's not moving at all. But I like the song. It's a dark night. But yeah, this was Robert Kurtzman's idea. He even shot a teaser for it. You can find it on YouTube. I believe it was after Army of Darkness when they finished shooting, because that took a bit for it to come out. After Army of Darkness was shot, which TMB worked on that, he was able to use some of the facilities and get Joe Pilato from Day of the Dead, Rhodes. I'm running this multi from Frankenstein. I want to know what the fuck do you do in my time? Joe Pilato, may he rest in peace. And he was Seth Gecko. He was the George Clooney character. I didn't need to find it on. That's a cool shot. Seen through the hand. And of course, right then, Kurtzman, Nick Telberger, the effects guys. And of course, yeah, fix everything with duct tape. But yeah, I think coming up here you have what you call the X-ray Superman shot, which is an interesting idea. That's like an X-ray shot you would see in like the George Reeves Superman show, which is interesting. But, so yeah, Kurtzman shot a teaser after Army of Darkness. Joe Pilato was in it. And you can find on YouTube, it's him gearing up, kind of similar to what you would see later in this film, with the jackhammer stake and the water gun. And then a bat comes in, and Joe Pilato looking like Reservoir Dogs. So you tell again when this was done. This always was a funny bit. Well, you cranky old bastard, want a fucking room. Yeah, okay, alright. So I believe what happened was Kurtzman somehow met Quentin Tarantino and said, well, is there a way you could like write another version of the script? And Tarantino's, okay, well I could do that, but can I use your guys to do the effects on Reservoir Dogs? But it's on the cheap. So it's like, okay, we'll do the effects on Reservoir Dogs if you could help rewrite the script, polish it up a bit. Because Kurtzman wanted this to be the film that's really going to showcase TMB effects, and then of course Kurtzman would be the director, first feature film. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if Kurtzman just, well, he tried and no one bought into it because he had never directed before. They're like, well, even if you want 1 or 2 million, we can't trust you because you've never made a movie before. You've never made a film before. Have no reason to trust you. I mean, so he didn't get the movie made. So after Pulp Fiction, which was a huge success, Tarantino took the script and said, hey, Mirror Match was Pulp Fiction. You have a field called Dimension. Do this film. He had met Robert Rodriguez, who of course Tarantino was in Desperado, directed by Robert Rodriguez. Quentin Tarantino was the guy who tells the story. He's pissing on the wall, he's pissing on the bartender, he's pissing everywhere, and he's laughing. He was in that Desperado. So obviously they became friends, and it's like, okay, well, Tarantino will write the script, polish it, and Robert Rodriguez will direct. Desperado came out in '95. That was a great film. Pulp Fiction came out. That was a great film. So they get together and then they made this film, which for some reason they released it in January of '96. I don't know why. January is such a bad month for this. I think it got a $10 million opening weekend. It made maybe 25 million. So it was a gargantuan hit, but probably was profitable. Especially was profitable on VHS, but enough so that they did From Dusk Till Dawn 2 and 3, and then a TV show years and years later. But there was even a video game for PC, I think, which I never played because I'm not a big, I'm not good at PC, using the keyboard, type of games. And the film, of course, became a cult hit, and this is without a doubt my favorite vampire film. Without a doubt, my favorite vampire movie. Fright Night, the original, is close second. This is my favorite because I love the combination of action and horror. The character is very interesting. The dialogue is fun to listen to. Some great lines. Remember Clooney trying to calm her down. If you listen to me, if you do what I tell you to do, you'll be fine. If you don't, I got 6 friends, and they're all faster than you. I have 6 friends, and they can all run faster than you can. Yeah, my word on that, and of course he's telling the truth, is just his brother's a sicko. And you see a little hint of it when he's like, you want to lay on the bed, watch TV. I guess that also helps with, like, Clooney is not a good guy. I mean, he killed the guy at the beginning who ran the store. He's taking people hostage. He's a bank robber. We overhear that, they kill cops and stuff. So he's not a good guy, but then you team him up with someone who's so much worse that even that guy is horrified. It's kind of like Riddick in Pitch Black. Like, Riddick is not a good guy. Riddick is not a angelic guy. But when you pair him up with these creatures that will kill anybody, and then you have the other guy that's willing to let a kid die, and Riddick ain't having that, then okay, he looks a little bit better in comparison. Which helps a bit. Now, I know this film, you have, if you have the DVD, Full Tilt Boogie, there's a feature-length documentary made at the time when this came out, so a lot behind the scenes what was going on. I haven't seen that in a long time ago, Full Tilt Boogie. So, of course, we have Harvey Keitel, Ernest Liu, and Juliette Lewis. Harvey Keitel, of course, I worked with Tarantino on Reservoir Dogs. So I'm sure he's like, oh, I get to work with Tarantino again. And of course, and Pulp Fiction as well. He's like, well, I worked with Tarantino on Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, and that really helped. So he's writing a script. I'm down for whatever. I'm sure this is not his forte, horror films, but this, do something a bit different. And Harvey Keitel does a great job. I mean, he's a great actor, from Copland to Bad Lieutenant to just a variety of films. And then Juliette Lewis, she was in films like Cape Fear, Martin Scorsese. Then she was in Natural Born Killers. So it's interesting, Tarantino, I don't know if he saw the full film, but he saw a little bit of Natural Born Killers, and he didn't like it. He seen clips. That's why part of me is like, I want him to watch the whole film and just at least your honest opinion, man. Does Natural Born Killers I don't hate, but I don't love either. So I think this film is a lot better. But I mean, I don't know if Tarantino like, hey, Juliette Lewis was good, so how about her for this role? And I know she's done films later on, but it didn't seem like much of them really got up to the level of her early work in this era. I think she was about 23 years old when this came out, give or take. Could be wrong on that. But yeah, I can't remember the last film she was in. I know she's been in stuff. I cannot remember what they are. And this whole bit about how a guy who was a man of God, lost his faith, which is understandable because of the death of his wife. His wife died in a certain way, and kind of hard for him to lose his faith about it. She did. Now, is that Kelly Preston, who was in Twins as the reporter, the newscaster? I could absolutely be wrong on that. Sorry about the throat. And Tarantino, I mean, I remember someone on a stream asked me, what's a good, like, a director that became actually a pretty good actor? I think I mentioned, Wes Craven wasn't bad, Wes Craven's Nightmare. Tarantino's not a bad actor. I think if he wasn't a director, he could have been a character actor like Ted Raimi. Like Ted Raimi and some of these other guys where... that picture with the guy and the big fish. 16 people dead, including the two we saw. And there's John Saxon from, of course, The Nightmare on Elm Street. He was also in Nightmare Beach, funny enough. And rest in peace to him. Another good actor. Just a shame he's not in the film too much. But still nice to see him, at least in this. Did some Italian horror films, Cannibal Apocalypse. But yeah, rest in peace to John Saxon. Of course, Enter the Dragon. Of course, this is when you don't realize, wait a minute, where's the hostage? But yeah, Tarantino, I think, was actually a pretty good character actor. That's why it didn't bother me when he was, put into films. I think he's a lot better than Spike Lee, who has tried to act, or M. Night Shyamalan. I think because he's just such an animated person, that kind of helps on the screen. There you go. I like the way this was edited, and I think Clooney does a really good job acting here. We never get a good shot, we just see these glimpses and flashes, and our mind kind of fills in the blanks. A-Tail Clooney just does not believe 1 ounce of Tarantino's story. What is wrong with you? And this is where, even though he's not a good guy, this is where you're a little bit endeared to him because you see just he had promised this lady. He's not what this is about. He doesn't assault women. He doesn't go out to kill women, all this stuff. Rape them, all that stuff. Is this my fault? Is this my fault? Is this what you think I am? I think Clooney sells the intensity, sells just the anger. You tell he just like maybe a part of him wants to kill him, wants to kill his brother. Like he's got his hands around his neck. Like the way he's got, like he could just do one. All he could do is just one thing. Like if he says one thing wrong, but he can't because it's his brother. But Tarantino will get just desserts soon enough. Soon enough. And of course, I haven't even mentioned the other kid, Ernest Liu, because there's not a single person on earth that has ever thought of Ernest Liu. Which is kind of sad in a way. I mean, granted, they don't really give him anything to do. He's just kind of there in the background. To the point, I'm kind of curious as to why he's in the movie in the first place, because they really give him nothing in terms of dialogue. They give him nothing in terms of arc. They give him nothing in terms of... Like, the only reference is that when Clooney's, like, looking down at them, and... he said, why can't I say the word? Because his... Rhymes with bags. Well, you're a couple of bags, but it starts with an F. But that's another great shot. Clooney getting the idea. What is this? It's called a punch. Of course, Precinct 13 shirt. I'm guessing an ode to Assault on Precinct 13, which is a great movie. In a way, I mean, by the third, it becomes a siege movie. They're trapped in the corner, and they're coming out of the woodwork, and it becomes a siege, like I saw in Precinct 13, so... I have to think that was done on purpose for that. I know they were both big John Carpenter fans. What was that channel Rodriguez had? I forget. Yeah, I'm bad with names. But, which is funny because they did these little advertisers with YouTubers and send clips, and I got to be in one or two of them along with others. I think one of them was for RoboCop. And, what is this? It's called a punch. But there's an interview series that Robert did, and I think Stallone was on one. I know John Carpenter was on one, and worked out. And you tell like Tarantino was a big fan of those early films, The Thing. I mean, even some of the music John Carpenter's theme was used in the Hateful Eight. I think some of the unused music in The Thing they put into the Hateful Eight. I mean, they could say, well, we don't like the new stuff, but I mean, John Carpenter doesn't really put out new stuff anymore. And to be honest, I mean, if we're being really honest, Robert Rodriguez, I mean, well, he never said that about Carpenter, but I'm just saying, if he ever did, or if Tarantino ever did, I'm like, Tarantino, your buddy Robbie Rod, Hypnotic, like, okay, Tarantino, I want you to watch Hypnotic and review it honestly. That your buddy Robbie Rod did. Robert Rodriguez. Sit down and watch Hypnotic. Sit down and watch some of those Spy Kids movies. And be honest. So here we get to see Tarantino's Psyche, where This is what he sees, this is what he hears. Sure. But you see that she's never hasn't turned her head. And like this is literally how he views the world. So when he says, "Oh yeah, I saw this happen," well, yeah, he did, because he's crazy. And coming up, Ramblers, let's get rambling. And here it shows Hard to Tell it has a little bit of conviction, has a little bit of bravery. And maybe there's a part of Clooney that kind of respects that, but, you know. That's not fucking that. This is this. But yeah, Ernest Liu, you know what? I mean, I would actually be curious to hear an interview with him and his perspective on the movie, on making the film, because dude, you just never hear anything about this guy. Like, I don't even know what happened to this guy. You never heard of him. I want to look up. Has he done anything else? And I have nothing against this guy, Ernest Liu. I'm sure people are like, oh, you know, will say all these things, but he's not really given anything to do. He's kind of just there in the backdrop. He doesn't. I guess he gets to use the water gun a little bit, some water balloons. He gets bit. He gets blown up. Like I say, he's really given nothing to do, so you can't really say he has much of a character because that's all for the others. That's why I wonder, was there supposed to be anything more to the guy, or was it cut out, or was it rewritten, or you know what the deal was. What's in Mexico? Mexicans. It's a film that, again, I think is. It's got what you. I mean, it has pretty much what you want in a movie. Good enough story with interesting characters who have entertaining personalities. Great cast, fun dialogue. There's a lot of stuff to note in this movie. Plus, you got some action, you got some gore, you got some character actors like Tom Savini, Fred the Hammer Williamson. It just, which the Hammer I think is still with us. Just sadly, a lot of those guys back in the day, the Blaxploitation era, a lot of them are gone sadly. Jim Kelly, of course, is gone. Jim Brown is gone. It's too bad, though. It's just very sad. But I think the Hammer's still with us, at least as I'm recording this. Sorry, I'm trying to type into my phone. Took a while for it to get started. Never ridden an RV. Been in a van, but never an RV. And no, it was not the Scooby-Doo van. And no, there's no weed in it. But I have been in a van. I've never been in an RV. But I mean, I'm at, where I live, there are a lot of people with RVs. Just it's like they find a place to park and if there's a property where you can hook up water and stuff, then they hope to stay there for as long as they can. So I'm going to look at some of the actors in the filmography. Harvey Keitel. Yeah, Taxi Driver. Saturn III. That was a sci-fi film he did, and then they dubbed over his voice because the new director didn't like his voice, I guess. The Last Temptation of Christ is Judas. He was in Thelma and Louise as the cop. Reservoir Dogs as Mr. White. Bad Lieutenant. He was the bad guy in Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg. Paul Fiction as the Wolf. Winston Wolfe. This film, he did Copland as Ray Donlin. U-571. He was in Red Dragon. I forgot he was in National Treasure 2. Forgot he was in that. Yeah, he was in The Irishman. You're a good actor. Probably scenes like this that makes people think Tarantino has a foot fetish. Now, George Clooney, I think in that same interview I mentioned before, he said how he first met Tarantino because Tarantino directed an episode of ER, which George Clooney, of course, starred in the TV show ER. So Tarantino directed an episode, and then one thing led to another, and then George Clooney got cast in this film. He mentioned how it was fun to make. He really enjoyed working with Robert and Tarantino and everybody else. How he seems proud of the film in that interview. Like, he seems proud of the film. And he mentioned how, if my first film was One Fine Day or Batman and Robin or The Peacemaker, my film career would have been in trouble. But because this was the first film, it succeeded in levels. And yeah, people looked at him and go, wow, this guy's got a movie star quality to it. This guy could be a leading man. The Ocean's 11 films, and I said Michael Clayton, and various other movies. I actually like The Peacemaker. I don't hate The Peacemaker. It's not great, but I like The Peacemaker for what it is. Batman and Robin, not so much. But let me see, what else has George Clooney done? Just pretty much they're on their way to the Titty Twister during this section. I know he did other TV shows before ER. Yeah, I did episodes. Combat Academy. Street Hawk, he did an episode. Murray, She Wrote, he did an episode. 11 episodes of Roseanne. Bodies of Evidence. Is that the one I'm thinking of? I don't know. Starred Lee Horsley. Huh. No, I don't think that's what I'm thinking of. I don't think. Sunset Beat. Then that's the one. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, L.A. Cops worked under Trevor's motorcycle gang. Yeah, Sunset Beat. I'm thinking of 6 episodes. And in Bodies of Evidence, never heard of that. But yeah, film-wise, yeah, Grizzly 2, which I think it was Laura Dern, Charlie Sheen, they're all friends, and then they get killed by the bear. And then the film wasn't finished, and you couldn't see the bear. And then later on, like, someone took the movie, and I just added scenes to try to finish it, but it still wasn't that good. Return of the Killer Tomatoes, I kind of like for how goofy it is. It's poking fun at itself. There's a point in the film where literally the movie runs out of budget, and George Clooney gets the idea of product placement. And it's kind of like that scene in Wayne's World later on, where they're just showing all the products to be purposely product placement in the scene, while Return of Killer Tomatoes did that before it. I thought it was a funny scene. Oh, he's Cheech Marin. One of 3 scenes he's actually in. He's here as the border cop. He's one of the vampires at the Titty Twister. Pussy lovers. And then he's the guy they meet at the end. Kind of interesting he put him in 3 roles, because you would think, oh, well, how come he keeps popping up? But I guess it's like, well, here he's clean shaven, and the other one, he's got all this long hair, and then the other, like the third time, he kind of looks like Cheech from Cheech and Chong. Of course, Cheech Marin had worked with Robert Rodriguez in Desperado before this. I don't think he had worked with Tarantino before, but he worked with, of course, he worked with Robert Rodriguez in other films. Machete, among other movies. But yeah, George Clooney, like he had done like smaller films in this film. Then he did One Fine Day, Batman Robin, The Peacemaker, then The Thin Red Line, then Out of Sight. I liked Out of Sight. I like Three Teens. Out of Sight I thought was good. Three Teens was good. Ocean's 11 I like. Let's see. Michael Clayton I thought was a good one. Up in the Air I didn't mind. Up in the Air was a good dramatic role. Gravity I love. Money Monster I didn't mind. Money Monster I thought was pretty decent. With him and Julie Roberts. Jodie Foster directed that. Did not mind Money Monster. I know he's in a new film with Brad Pitt called Wolves, which haven't seen that one. Let's see. Juliette Lewis, since we're seeing her with her panties down. Which I don't mind that. I don't know why I smirked at Clooney's reaction, like, kind of like, I don't know if he's like, good looking or nice job. I love how he does this guy. He's like, you fucking piece of shit. That's the way he's acting. So yeah, she was in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation before this. And of course, Cape Fear. But what did she do after this? The Other Sister, I remember that, with Giovanna Ribisi, where she plays someone who has an intellectual disability. The Way of the Gun, Cold Creek Manor, I forgot about that movie. Starsky and Hutch, Old School, Catch and Release, I forgot about that movie. Due Date, I forgot she was in Due Date. Ma, Dreamland, Mayday, The Thicket, Opus, A Million Little Pieces, Backroads, Nerve, which I remember actually liking that film. Emma Roberts, Dave Franco, or Nerve. Yeah, she might have been in that, but I don't remember her in it. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of just, smaller stuff. So let me finally get to... Oh, you can't. Ernest Liu is not on there. So I'm going to have to go to IMDb. Probably nothing. I don't think he ever did anything ever again. But he's such a mystery to me, because it's like, you recognize there's, George Clooney from ER, there's, Juliette Lewis from Cape Fear, Natural Born Killers, there's Harvey Keitel, Bad Lieutenant, Taxi Driver, and then it's like, oh, you got Fred the Hammer Williamson, you got, Tom Savini. And you're like, well, who the hell is this guy named Ernest Liu? Like, where did he come from? Who was he? Where did he go? He did an episode of a show called The Faculty. Nothing to do with the movie. 2 episodes, and let's see, who was on The Faculty? Miguel Nunez, Meredith Baxter. Two episodes of a show called Relativity, The Westing Game, an episode of Unhappily Ever After, an episode as Boy Number 2 in Once and Again, and Unscripted, Guy in Studio, uncredited, in 2005. There you go. Of course, here's Cheech Marin doing one of those great speeches. Pussy lover, got wet pussy, dry pussy, cat pussy, dog pussy, real stinky pussy. If you get cheaper somewhere else, fuck it. Just having a ball with it. It's just hilarious. Just crazy. Here's a... Here's the thing, though. I don't really... Well, I guess I do understand. I was going to say... They won't let them go to... They think they'll go to, like, the Mexican authorities. And that's why. I mean, and of course, what a great name for a strip club. The Titty Twister. It just fits. Fuck it. I said, I think that's the idea. They have Cheech in 3 different ones because, again, they have the different makeup and hair and stuff. I think Clooney just beats the shit out of him. 1, 2, 3. Damn. And of course, the funny thing is about this film is that sometime later, and I'm trying to remember correctly now, Tales from the Crypt Demonite, I think, came out this year, too. 1996, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think Tales from the Crypt Demonite was 1996. The reason I bring that film up is I remember the features for that or Bordello of Blood. It was mentioned how Tales from the Crypt wanted to do a movie, and there were 2 ideas they had. And one of them was about vampires and strippers. And I think at one point, like, Tarantino, either they wanted Tarantino to write the film, or From Dusk Till Dawn would have been a Tales from the Crypt, like Tales from the Crypt From Dusk Till Dawn. I forget the details. It was one or the other, and then something, it didn't happen, and then later they would do Bordello of Blood, and just Bordello of Blood is still From Dusk Till Dawn. And of course, here we got Danny Trejo. Of course, Danny Trejo, I think he's related to Robert Rodriguez. I could be wrong on that. I think. But yeah, Danny Trejo, of course, was in Desperado, would later be in Machete, and a lot of work with Robert Rodriguez. And of course, Danny Trejo's been in a ton of stuff. Here's Keitel diffusing the situation. You want truck drivers? I'm a truck driver. See that RV? But, you know. Now, probably the rationale they want for truck drivers is because truck drivers, they're going across the country left and right. Maybe they're hoping that, well, they stopped somewhere. They didn't really tell their superiors because they don't want to get in trouble. Or maybe they have a lot of cargo and they'll steal the cargo and use it for their own benefit, whatever's in there, and whatever the case would be, you know. Rob and kill, then rob and take. But you think that this Titty Twister's in the middle of nowhere. How do people even know? I guess that's the thing, is that they'll send people out and go, man, this one bar, it's just the craziest titty bar you'll ever see. They try to get people, get feelers, and then go there. But you would think someone would overhear this enough times, like, well, man, they went to this place, they went to this place. Oh, yeah, I don't know. There's Tanzavini, and then there's Greg Nicotero. Nicotero with the knife, and Quentin with the crotch gun, which was first seen in Desperado. I think what happened was Robert Rodriguez used that crotch gun in the film Desperado, but it was cut out. Because I didn't even realize this until I did a commentary for it recently. There's an entire finale, there's an entire action scene cut out of Desperado. At the end of the film, if you watch it, there's Antonio talking to the bad guy, shoots the bad guy, they're getting ready to fight the others, there's like a white flash, and then it's the aftermath. Apparently it was a big action scene where Selma Hayek was killing bad guys, Antonio was killing bad guys. It was probably Selma Hayek, or I don't know if it was her or if it was Antonio using the crotch gun. And that was all cut out because the MPA said, well, this is violent, this is violent, this is violent. And Robert Rodriguez said, well, if I cut this out, the whole scene's going to be incomprehensible. And if the whole scene's going to be incomprehensible, I guess I'll just have to cut out the whole scene. Why that footage has never been released, I do not know why. Can someone please ask Robert Rodriguez, where is that footage? Because deleted scenes from this film has been released, is on the DVD, and I'm surprised this film does not have like a better, like, fully loaded special edition. Like, From Dusk Till Dawn seems like a film that you could do a new documentary on. Sit down with Robert, sit down with Clooney. That's not just an interview you can only see in Germany. Although I did upload it to my other channel, ramboraphMatt. It's on there. If you type in ramboraphMatt, one word, or George Clooney interview From Dusk Till Dawn, I did not know how to rip a Blu-ray from Germany. I didn't have that stuff. I still don't. So I used a camcorder, just recorded it, and uploaded it. So it's like a 20-minute interview. So you can see it there. But yeah, like, you could do a lot for this, and that's crazy if you think about it. The 30th anniversary is almost coming up, because we're in September of 2024. It's almost 2025. The 30th anniversary for this would be 2026. So, do something for that. As a Harvey Keitel telling him, you won. You beat the law. You beat all this stuff. You won. Be happy. And it's interesting because in George Clooney seems like this is a guy he could respect. Of course, you see like Fred the Hammer Williamson. Of course, we saw Tom Savini. Of course, Tom Savini. Who doesn't know Tom Savini watching this? Who's the Danny Trejo? You swine! Bow your head. Satanical pandemonium. Of course, Selma Hayek. Very beautiful, very sexy. It's interesting because there's a story about Desperado where she was supposed to do this. They had this sex scene with her and Antonio Banderas, and she was just freaking out and crying because it's one of her first films. She'd never really done anything like that before, and apparently Antonio and Robert calmed her down a lot. I guess got her a bit more used to it because now here she is being a stripper with a stage. And like, god damn, man. Beautiful lady, I gotta say, beautiful lady. And yeah, this is a film that kind of did, like, I watched this on VHS when I was 93, probably 13 years old. Let's no, it would come out probably a bit later. Let's say maybe a year after. Usually the VHS, I would be able to get the VHS maybe a year or so later. So let's say maybe in 97, maybe even 98, I finally saw this on VHS tape. So I would have been 14 or 15. So let's say 15 years old. This is the right movie for a 15-year-old. It's like you got naked women, you got titties, you got strippers, you got gore, you got monsters, vampires, beheadings, people being staked, you got badasses shooting guns, you got funny dialogue. Like, you had everything you wanted in this kind of movie. And Salma Hayek, man. Beautiful, beautiful lady. Beautiful. And you tell at this point she pretty much like picked her poison, so to speak. But the one guy she's gonna feast on or something. Now, I don't know if it's whether she sensed who is the most evil person in the room, or just by luck or chance, whatever, that she picked Tarantino. But she did. A little bit more into Tarantino's foot fetish. I guess, you know, sucking on Selma Hayek's toe wouldn't be the worst thing to suck. I guess that's true. Lick your own leg, that's gotta be, damn, you gotta be very flexible on that. I imagine her Clooney, like, Clooney just gets to watch the whole ass right in front of his face. I just stare up at Selma Hayek's ass, and I'm getting paid for it. How lucky can you be? I get to just sit in a chair and stare at Selma Hayek's ass. What a way to make a living. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. I didn't realize they had the disco, like, glitter dome say up top. I didn't realize that before. Because I was looking at Selma, so I didn't realize, yep, they got a, what I call it the glitter dome. Plus, there was a movie back in the day, I think it was made for TV or made for cable, called The Glitter Dome. James Garner and John Lithgow. Up here you go. Ooh. Of course, for them, it's like, you can go ahead and shoot me. It's not going to matter. Of course, that bit with Tarantino going across, that was using all the marketing and the trailers. And this is where you to say this is when the movie changes. Yeah, we're about an hour into the movie, and this is when it goes from Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction type of dialogue, character-driven crime with humor, all that stuff, to straight-up horror film. I know a lot of critics did not like that. Although, if you look at the title, the poster, the marketing, no one else would have been surprised. That's the sad thing about that, is that you will love that to be a surprise, but if you hear about the film, you're already going to know just from the title, the cover. That's what it is, especially if you watch the trailer. Ooh, there you go. Up there you go. Can't say the character didn't deserve it, because he certainly did. Fucking bitch. And that's where the shit really hits the fan. Right about now. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. And here we go. I mean, the morphine effect shots aren't the best. This is when morphine was kind of the new thing in this era. But the practical effects are, I mean, you got TMB doing it, so the effects on the makeup on the vampires, the body part, here the slit throat, very nicely done. They're just going to town on these motherfuckers. Like, Jesus, look at all these strippers. I wonder how the hell that band got that dead body so quick. Like, within 30 seconds, they had this dead body playing his guitar, his body for guitar. How the hell did that happen? Yep, there you go. Yeah, the eyes explode. That's a fun, like, Evil Dead 2 effect. There's the hammer. Putting the hammer down. Bitch number 1, bitch number 2, bitch number 3, and carry on to bitch number 4. 4 down. And while Clooney's going to take on one, it's going to be at least the big bad mama. So, because you probably doubt she's the leader of this whole thing. That's a good stunt. Good old wannabe knockout punch. Towards Tom Savini, he likes doing this stunt work stuff. He loved doing it in George Romero's Knight Riders. He liked doing this actor thing, so he wasn't just an effects guy. And, you know, ooh, nice effect in his arm pulled off. Nice stuff with the pool cue. I mean, I've heard Tom Savini is an asshole at conventions. I've never met him, never really cared to. I do like his work in effects. He did the effects on Friday the 13th, the original Dawn of the Dead, Maniac, The Burning, others. And I liked him as an actor, even right here. Thought he worked well as Sex Machine. There goes Danny Trejo. Like I said, the Morph effects, I would say, I do like the eyeballs going to the corner pockets of the pool table. But yeah, the Morph effects, I would say, are the weakest effects in the film, but the practical still stands true. Now, I heard at one point they were going to take this line out. I'm glad they did not, because it was so good, it even made the trailer. You know, welcome to slavery. No thanks, I already had a wife. Spot. Welcome to slavery. No thanks, I already had a wife. Pew. And there we go. He only took care of one, but it was one that mattered. Like I said, the Morph effects definitely of his time in 1996. Ooh, we may be in trouble. Multi Man. Fred's just so cool. Say to me. That's the thing, if you don't have some cool motherfuckers, like punches his heart out like he's Kano from Mortal Kombat. With the pencil. With the fucking pencil. Get your ass down. And it still seems a lot more vampires than that. I mean, there was... I guess they killed the 3 that attacked them. Fred at least killed 4 of them. Tom killed at least 4 or 5 of them. Now there's going to be 4 more coming up. Now that creature there on the left, there was actually a deleted scene where we saw her stomach open up and eat a guy's head. But sadly that was cut out. I don't know if there's an MPA or something, but yeah, that one on the left there. See the stomach is open? Because there's a guy and George Clooney's watching while it ate the head right into her stomach. So... there you go. Goodbye. I think that's the one that closed the doors. That dinner is served. There we go. Up there you go. Answers your question on their body supposed to be burning. Try to push the board up. Let's kill that fucking band. They said like "fuck you, good night." So I guess the idea they did a kamikaze, I guess, is like I guess that's the idea behind it. Yeah, I guess that's the idea they did a kamikaze. I think there's a blooper where they're pulling this stuff up and actually hits Tarantino in the head with the chair or something. I think that's the case. They can't lift it. Well, let the hammer down there. I think, like all you guys, even with the hammer, Fred, you can't lift that damn thing. I love you too, Seth. Interesting makeup he has. It's kind of like I don't know. For some reason, it reminds me of the Frankenstein monster. I don't know why the Harvey Keitel's line, "Don't be a fool." It's like the harbinger of doom. You're doomed. You're all doomed. Like Crazy Ralph. Don't be a fool. That's a cool look, with just the vampire teeth in the eyes. Right back to this again. And there we go. Tarantino is out of the picture. Yeah, again, the only complaint I have is the morph effects are not the best. Kind of wish they didn't use morph effects at all. I know they didn't have all the budget in the world, but I'd rather have the effects like when the guy, well, maybe what I don't know. I was thinking of the guy that melted in Fright Night. I'm sorry, everybody's dead. Not drunk. I think that's what was cool about seeing Harvey Keitel is because in a lot of his films, so used to hearing and seeing Keitel as a bad guy or a tough guy. I mean, Taxi Driver, he's a bad guy. And even later in Copland, he's a bad guy. In Saturn 3, he was dubbed, but he was the bad guy. Reservoir Dogs, I mean, he was technically a bad guy. He was the leader of these crooks, but not as bad as Michael Madsen. But he was still somewhat of, kind of more of a Seth Deco, George Clooney type of guy, bad guy. In Pulp Fiction, like he was a bit calmer guy, but he's the cleaner. But you didn't really get to see Harvey Keitel as the nice, generous, good guy. So that was a rare opportunity, and it was nice to see Keitel play that type of role. Really, really nice to see that. Now, where is everybody here? Like, no one can hear or see this? No one can hear her stream, and I was going to say, like, no one can hear her stream, not Harvey Keitel or anybody? I just the point here is that Savini and Fred are going to get some more moments to shine before they are out of the picture. Because they're not going to last too long in the film. Because Savini's going to get bitten in a little bit. Then he's going to bite Fred. Fucking bit me! Why don't do bite? Come on, sex machine! I've seen this film quite a few times throughout the years, and still works for me. I mean, hell, we got 33 minutes left of the film, man. That's with the end credits, so it went by pretty quick. We still got a bit to go. Like, come on, lady. You know they're vampires, just do it. There's a V not paying attention. You gotta pay attention. There you go. Nice pulling of flesh, kind of like in Day of the Dead, which Tom Savini worked on with great Directorial and such. Which I'm sure that was what they wanted out of the pieces of flesh being ripped off by teeth. The dirty half dozen. Now we gotta figure out what the hell to do next. Well, I didn't believe in fucking vampires, but I think we can all agree we're dealing with fucking vampires. I saw Peter Cushing do that. Anyone have any silver? So who cares? I thought Savini did a good job as this guy that's just now slowly turning. And there's another good speech Clooney has. Did you try tell riled up? or what was the line? Or are you a motherfucking servant of God? You're a mean motherfucker. Or you're a mean motherfucking servant of God. I'm a mean servant of God. I know that's come up a bit. Again, great script, good characters, good interaction between the characters, to be interested when the monster stuff is not happening. And when it happens, that's the bonus. That's the dessert, the ice cream. That's the extra tasty seasoning. That's the wonderful side dish. Either the corn or the cob with butter on it, or the tasty French fries, or whatever the case. Again, Ernest Liu, where is he at? What happened? I don't know. Just because I'm just curious, like how he got cast, who was up for the role, how did that come to be, how was it worked on the film, what about afterward? I think they put this in there because, like, well, yeah, people, of course, everyone has to have a Vietnam story, but then you don't, you only hear a little bit of it. Yeah, this has happened a lot in movies where even if it's just not Vietnam, I mean, you got the Great Quint story in Jaws, of course. I love the story in Stephen King's Graveyard Shift, where Brad Dourif talked about his time in Nam. It's like, of course, we gotta have someone tell their Vietnam story. Grenade landed near me. That's why I'm so pretty. And these guys do such a good job. There's a part of me that doesn't want Sex Machine to die. That didn't want Fred the Hammer to die in the movie. That would like to have seen them live and be at the end of the film and fighting the vampires along with George Clooney and them. But Sal, that's the thing though. They may, even they don't have the biggest backstory, the most developed characters, their personality and their act. They still have enough to make you interested. This is where Fred's going to get bit. Damn it! Like, damn, no, man. Don't let him get killed, damn. Yep, there you go. Damn. Oh, I think here. No, this other shot. Tom Savini actually accidentally hit George Clooney. There's this punch he gives coming up here. Ooh, that's a good throw. Yeah, I think coming up with George here, that he really did hit George accidentally. Bam! Fuck you, bit me! What don't do about it? Come on, sex machine! I love he does his karate stance. His karate. Oh shit. Just like, well, just like George about to say, oh shit. I guess the idea is that the hammer turns so quick because they hit like the jugular while the other was in the arm. Damn, he got the job for 10 seconds. Now he's like the Lord of the Bats. Go, my brethren. Chase them motherfuckers. Pop. And I love this idea, using the shotgun as a cross, and then when he shoots he just cocks it and still keeps with the cross aesthetic. I mean, it's so simple, but yet it works so well. I mean, yeah, thank goodness the shotgun, this one had that, to be able to put a bat in there. I just maybe if you duct tape or something, but... Now, I'm guessing if he shoots him with a shotgun, it wouldn't kill them because it's not holy water. Like, you would guess, okay, that vampire is not dead. You would guess. Unless somehow the cross made them weak enough to then kill them. I don't know. Open the door. And you see Clooney getting pissed because he doesn't like that. I mean, and even that's a little bit of a nice character bit where he doesn't like. He's not happy about the fact that Keitel got bit. He's not happy for the fact that they're going to lose, you know, their dad. Because he probably sees, hey, this guy's a good guy. He's done nothing wrong to me. He's been helping. And here we got Keitel taking control now. Him with everything we got. Everything we have. Now this gearing up scene is reminiscent of, if you again go up, I think it's called From Dusk Till Dawn 1991 teaser. I think it was uploaded like 11 years ago. It's got AC/DC's Hell's Bells playing, and it's someone you're gearing up, and it's like, again, they got the water gun, they got the jackhammer thing, yeah, this bit here, all that stuff. So obviously Tarantino, I mean, I'm assuming Tarantino must have seen that teaser as well to have that stuff. Of course, he's a priest, so blessed. Now it's holy water. I think someone had a damn crossbow there. So I wonder. Oh, maybe that's the thing. Yeah, But how do the crosses kill vampires? I mean, how do the arrows kill vampires? Well, I guess. Well, some know they shoot in the head and stuff, but I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's silver tipped, but do so. I don't know. I'm looking too much into it. Keitel makes the promise, which the boy does not keep, but the daughter does, and by doing so, the daughter survives. Well, to be fair, the boy does, in a way, keep it. He does shoot, so that's not really fair to say. Because he even says a prayer before it. Is that a sin if you're already dead? Although, would that... I wonder, would that kill him? Well, I guess the idea is that I'll be a vampire and then you'll have to kill me anyway. Deal with me right now. I'll admit, Ernest Liu, he's not the best actor. He's a little bit wooden with the few bits of delivery he has. But I mean, literally, you got Juliette Lewis, and you got Harvey Keitel, you got George Clooney. You have all these actors around you. Just easy to get overshadowed by that. And of course, a repeat of that line we heard: "Ramblers, let's get rambling." And yeah, we're pretty much getting to the finale. Last 17 minutes. And if you, I mean, you got end credits, so 13, 14 minutes. Here's the showdown, standoff. Love this build up, showing each one of the faces up close. Nice build up. Kill them all. There you go. Ooh, right in the head. And this is, I love this weapon that George has. Right there. Boom. There you go. Such a cool weapon to have. Kind of like Ash with the chainsaw in Evil Dead 2. And and look, practical fire. I mean, you can't beat that. CG fire does not beat that stuff. Fuck you. Up Tom Savini. You kind of wonder what some of these vampires are doing. Like, some of them are just in the background, kind of just standing around. Like, none, all of them, so many of them could be attacking George Clooney right now. But I thought this was really cool to have this creature in there. Show up their creativity door. I'm like, what the hell is this? I think that creature looks really cool. All done in camera practical. Just, you can't beat that stuff, man. You can't beat real. You cannot get more real than real. That stuff holds up. Ooh, nice. Kind of wish George got the final hit on that. This is a really cool idea. Shooting through them and cocking it. I know I'm being greedy. I wish George Clooney would have killed a bit more vampires. I wish he would have killed a bit more. Because we saw him kill like 2 with the jackhammer. And then I guess the both of them killed Seth's machine because he kicked them into the fire. But I wish we could have seen a bit more of George killing some of them. I know I'm being greedy, but that's just how I am. Wish we could have seen just a a bit more, a couple. Give me like 4 more. But he hesitated. He hesitated. That was his mistake. He hesitated. Ooh, nice head explosion. Aw, shit. And you see Clooney just going to town on motherfuckers in the background with the stake. Nice roll there. Now I'm trying to think, what did she hit to make everybody explode? That's what I'm wondering. Like, what did she hit to make everyone explode? Was her brother made of kerosene? I don't know. Guess his brother, her brother was made of, I don't know, made of something. Should I save the last bowls for us? Save the next asshole that gets near you. Well, as the title suggests, from dusk till dawn. Right then and there. I just love Clooney's energy. Like, come on, motherfucker, come on. Yep, there you go. Nice explosions here and there. Now this guy with the on the right with the shotgun, he was definitely in Desperado as well. And we have the third Cheech Marin looking like Cheech from Cheech and Shawn. Got the mustache, like he was born in East LA. Probably my favorite of the 3 Cheech performances is this one. Because I love the dialogue. Were they psychos? They look like psychos? Psychos don't explode. One sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are. I love that line. They were psychos? You been here? No. Is that in the middle of nowhere? Her whole fucking family is dead. What, were they psychos? Psychos don't explode. One silent hits him. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are. So I love I love that line. That's a start. Yeah, I think I thought Julia Lewis is going to get anywhere because she's in Mexico. She got to get across the border. I don't know if she's going to tell people what happened. If she's gonna, okay, go home and do what? What the hell is she gonna do? It's funny. I mean, they made sequels, but nothing following the characters of Seth and company. I'm sure there was one idea of a sequel where like Seth would be in it, and then he would like die or get killed at the beginning or something. I would not be surprised if there was a sequel idea like that, which I find that didn't happen. I mean, a sequel with George Clooney. I mean, if you had the same team, it was done like I don't know, 1999 or so. Maybe that could have been cool, depending on the story that is. But maybe it was. I mean, there were sequels, but still, it was a standalone story. So maybe that was for the better. Sequel was a prequel, really. If you think about it, I think it was a prequel, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember. I know the third one was definitely a prequel. I'm trying to remember if the second one was a prequel or not. Yeah, because I think Danny Trejo was there. Yeah, because it twisters a little bit, and then it's mostly at this like place where these robbers are at. I think it is a prequel. Yeah, because the Titty Twister is still around, but here they're all dead, all destroyed. It's time to go. I even like the last line he has. I'm an asshole, but I'm not a fucking asshole. And I mean, you think about it, I mean, he is a bad guy. Cops have died. If it wasn't for him. But at the same time, I can't help but, in a weird way, be glad that he survives. I know it's a weird thing to say, but with the right actor and the right script and energetic direction and so on and so forth, sometimes things can work, and this is one of those. It could be handled easily, very poorly. But that's it's more a rare thing to get that all done correctly. And that's why a film like this, one of the other many reasons why this film still works to this day. And that's a cool reveal shot to show what kind of place this really was. It was built on top of from way back in the day. It's a dark night. Boom, doo, 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 doo. So you have the two brothers, you have the three family, three rows of Cheech. Selma did her own. Yeah, it was Kelly Preston, okay. Yeah, Kelly Preston from Twins. Danny the Wonder Pony. Greg Nicotero. That's another thing. We didn't get to see Greg's death scene. That was another thing that was cut out. Yeah, Greg Nicotero had a death scene, and that was cut out because I think because the MPAA, I believe that was the reason. So there you go with that. But yeah, love from Dusk Till Dawn, great movie. Yeah, some of the morphine effects are not the best. I do wish George Clooney's character killed a bit more vampires, kicked a bit more ass in the third act. But like, there's not a lot of things I dislike about the film. The score, the soundtrack works for the vibe of the film. The practical effects are entertaining. Cool, cool characters. Well written dialogue. Goes by a good pace. I didn't feel the running time of this at all. Hour and 43, hour 44 minutes went by very quick. So, yeah, love this film. Still my favorite vampire movie. Fright Night is a very close second. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.